Here we are, Joel. We're being bad together on the NFT.NYC YouTube page. For anybody watching live, thanks for your attention. Those that watch the archive, welcome to the party. I'm here with my friend Joel. Joel, you do so many things. One is you co-produce the Bad Crypto podcast. I'm wearing the shirt right now.
Nice shirt.
Show. You work on incredible projects. We'll talk about Sylvester Stallone, the stuff you're doing with him in a moment. But maybe you could just introduce yourself to those that may not know you and tell folks a bit about the Bad Crypto podcast, which is how I first learned about you and Travis.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on, Ian. I appreciate it. And I am excited about NFT.NYC coming up in New York in June. Be there before you know it. The summer's coming so quickly. I've been building online businesses for 27 years and have done just about everything that's not illegal, immoral, or fattening in that time. And working on the fattening right now, though, that includes blogging and making sites, selling sites, creating apps, creating software, being in the internet marketing world, the social media marketing world, affiliate marketing. And 5 years ago, Travis Wright and I decided to start the Bad Crypto podcast. It was born out of our discussions and fascination with Bitcoin and crypto. We realized there wasn't content out there that wasn't over people's heads. We're just regular guys trying to understand the space. And so we created a podcast that would bring people along on the journey with us. And it's bad, not because crypto's bad, but because we do a lot of bad dad jokes. It's not unusual to get a fart joke on Bad Crypto. And so we interview people who are smarter than us. And along the way, we've actually become not too bad, understanding crypto. And we advise with a number of projects now. I believe we were the first podcast to cover NFTs in December of 2017, the week that CryptoKitties came out. We thought they were hilarious. And we bought them and we did a show dedicated to them. And then 2 years ago, almost to the date right now, we started the Nifty Show. And here we are, more than 150 episodes in, and we've talked to hundreds of creators in the space. We've minted over 1.5 million NFTs of our own original intellectual property, and now we consult and advise with other projects. And we're just having a great time. And we're NFT enthusiasts. We both, Travis and I, have multiple wallets with all kinds of NFTs in them. Big into the play to earn space. Metaverse is a big part of the future, and social tokens. Very excited about all of it.
I feel like, NFT.NYC was not the very first NFT gathering, but we approached it in a decentralized fashion, trying to make a community event, and it's just gone really well. And so in many regards, 2019, 20, 21, into, of course, this year, we've built this platform for people to come talk about the amazing projects they're working on. Well, in a digital atmosphere, I feel like you and Travis really did that, of course, recently with the Nifty Show, but also, the fact that you covered CryptoKitties in 2017, I remember hearing about it. I was in the Twitter building running a tech event, and people are showing me how they're making kitties. I'm like, this is the future. You own these kitties. You can make other kitties. This is it. I'm all in. What it's called?
You could sire them out.
And I thought it's called an NFT. What a terrible name.
Yeah.
But of course, over time, the media world has made it, a name brand thing. You talk about working on other projects, and so we'll come back to the Nifty Show. But let's talk about whatever you can share about the project working with Sly, because everybody loves Sly. So maybe you can share your screen and show everybody what you're showing.
Sure. Sylvester Stallone is one of the most beloved, inspirational action heroes of Hollywood, for the last century. In fact, he is the only living box office celebrity to have a box office hit in the last 6 decades. So it's really amazing, the longevity that he has. He inspires people still to this day, and he connects directly with his fans on Instagram, and he posts, reels from his backyard or from his house, telling people to keep punching up. And my friend Bill Zanker, who is the founder of the Learning Annex, they used to put on these massive events all over the country, is friends with Sly, and he heard us on the Nifty Show and said, hey, can you help us ideate and come up with a collection of NFTs for Sylvester Stallone? So got to go to Florida and meet with Sly. In fact, I'll share that with you because these pictures are fantastic. You know, if anybody wants validation of what I'm saying, there we are hanging out in his place in Florida. It's funny, see that Life magazine there on the table? It
Yeah.
just so happened that that very week was the 45th anniversary of Rocky. And these
Wow.
were on the newsstand while we were in Florida. So we grabbed all of them from the rack. I think there were half a dozen. We asked him to sign all of them.
Wow.
And then we got to talking to NFTs and what we could do that would bring value to his fans. Cause he, you know, just selling a PFP, that's passe. You have to bring utility. And for Sly, that utility means connecting with his fans. So it took a little bit of persuading, but you know, he was all in on it. And so we are doing Sly Guys, which is a collection of 9,997 PFPs that are inspired by Sylvester Stallone and his characters and his personality. There's 270 or so different attributes in the collection. And we've got a very active Discord with about 25,000 people in it at discord.gg/Planet Sly. And for those who are listening live, we're actually doing an AMA that I'll be hosting tomorrow on May 5th, which also happens to be my birthday. So what a great present with Sly at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So you want to get into that Discord and be a part of that.
So tomorrow, maybe you and Sly jump in Discord.
Yep.
Anybody can jump in. It sounds like it's not a walled garden. Maybe we can jump in and join you.
Yep.
So there's almost 10,000, 9,997 of these. And this is a project that you've and your other friends and partners are collaborating with Sly to bring. Can you talk about what's diverse about this project and what's something that is different approach or new that maybe, you know, others aren't doing it? They could kind of say, oh gosh, this Planet Slide, like they're being a forerunner in this thing. That's a cool idea for utility. Can you share a bit about what is different about this than maybe what some other folks have been doing?
So there's some secrets that I can't share until after the sale. And they're the things that are the most different. And that's as much of a tease as I can give, because the question is great, because anytime I do a project, I want to bring something new, unique, and pioneering. And we definitely have a plan. I can tell you on the front, the utility is this, that if you own 3 Sly Guys on the snapshot date, which we will provide, you're going to get a ticket to a private dinner in Miami where Sly is going to attend and speak and share a meal with everybody in the room. And we're working with OpenSea. Mints number 1 through 25 are golden Sly Guys, each one of them autographed digitally and numbered by Sly. And those are going to be up for auction. If you get one of those 25 golden Sly Guys, then you're going to get the VIP experience at the dinner, which means you get to meet him, shake his hand, take some pictures, share some thoughts with him, maybe shoot a quick video, whatever it is that, you know, you'll be able to do in that time. There is additional utility, but the thing that we're doing that nobody else has done yet, I have to bite my tongue and not tell you until after it's over. Because there's a couple reasons for that. One of them is legal reasons that, you know, when you get into dealing with celebrities and attorneys and all that, you want to make sure that you have all of your T's crossed and your I's dotted. So there's no vague areas whatsoever. But that actually frees us up to do a lot more after the sale is over. And you're just going to have to stay tuned and see what that is.
On the topic, thank you for sharing about Planet Sly. On the topic of diversity, because that's a big theme for us this year, the diversity of project, diversity of utility, diversity of approach, diversity of communities. Because you've had so many guests on the Nifty Show, can you just talk a bit about the broad, eclectic group of people and the type of things that are happening? Because a lot of people, they are narrow focused on the 5 or 10% of what's happening with Ethereum, smart contracts, and they aren't really mindful of the other 90-95% of unique approaches, because maybe they don't make as much money, and it's not a speculative investing, but it's more utility, it's more supply chain management, removing middlemen, automation, creative approaches. So can you share a couple diverse things that have been inspiring to you and Travis?
Sure. Well, the reason that we moved to Wax for a blockchain to mint was because, first of all, no gas fees. Everybody out there complaining about ridiculous gas fees. Guess what? We've minted over 1.5 million NFTs with no Wax. You can sell an NFT for a penny on the Wax blockchain, and it doesn't cost you more than a penny. There's no additional fee. It's all proof of stake. You could also sell them for $10,000, which people have done, with multiple NFTs. But one of the things that drew us to it is they had this mechanism where you could pack up your NFTs, kind of like baseball card style. We saw Topps do it first, very cool. Garbage Pail Kids, and then we did it with our Blockchain Heroes cards. Right. And that just adds a whole level of collectability and fun to the equation, because you buy this pack, you don't know what you're going to get in it. It could be common, it could be rare, it could be epic, legendary, mythic, secrets, one of ones. Like, there's all kinds of fun things that drop out of your pack, and the marketplace really congregates around that idea of got to collect them all. Now, of course, we're moving into building a game with Blockchain Heroes. We're also seeing on the Nifty show many chains, that are getting into NFTs, whether it's Avalanche or Polygon or Solana or Tezos. The list is growing of different chains that people are using for NFTs. Ethereum is not the only game in town. It's the first game in town. And it's because you have these cantillionaires in there that have so much money. They have so much in Ethereum that it's been able to drive that economy. But, what we're discovering is that interoperability is here already, and it's going to permeate, as it is right now. We work with NFT Anywhere technology that Game Exchange has created. And my son Zach's project, Draco Dice, you can port his game dice, his playing pieces from Wax to Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum. So any game developer that wants to build a game that leverages the user base that are holding this dice, they can do that, and those dice can be brought over, and they can only exist in one instance at a time. So you've got truly portable game pieces, NFTs, and this is going to be the future. We're going to see interoperability across many chains. The Ethereum problem will eventually be fixed, and we're going to look back at these days and go, holy cow. You remember Other Side, when they minted those lands and people were paying up to $12,000 in gas? Right. Insane, crazy amounts of money wasted.
Yes. Well, the miners made a lot of money.
The miners are very happy. They're like, jackpot, baby.
And another positive is it has exposed some technical issues, and it's exposed some, other issues around how decisions are made.
And, can we just say incompetence? Let's just go ahead and call it what it is. There is so many things that could have been fixed and made right with that, unless it was intentional to illustrate.
Right. Obviously, that's a big concern people have.
It could have been intentional that, hey, they did this to go, hey, we're going to build our own chain, but that's harmful to the community. So unlikely. I'm going to err towards incompetence. That this could have been done infinitely better. I've seen posts on there for people way smarter than me that have said, hey, if you would have made this adjustment in the smart contract,
these three lines of code different, right?
Right. So I'm going to assume incompetence because I don't want to assume malicious intent.
I would love to see more people have that approach. A lot of times stones are thrown a little prematurely. But nevertheless, it's a lot of money that was wasted. A lot of that money basically got sucked out of the NFT market and put into the hands of miners, which doesn't necessarily recycle back into this community. So, and that's the advantage of these other chains, these other layer 1, layer 2 blockchains that are doing things in a different fashion. We were talking about the Nifty show. And so, I'm excited about this whole idea of the Nifty show live at NFT.NYC.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell the community about the idea? Now, we don't know exactly what's going to happen and how it's all going to look, but you and Travis consistently bring joy, gladness, tummy aches and mouth hurting from laughing so hard at the stuff that you guys do on stage, whether you're emceeing or you have your moment where you're sharing about what you're working on, whether it's the stuff you're creating or the people that you're promoting. But can you just talk a bit about your and Travis's vision for the Nifty Show Live at NFT.NYC?
Sure. We've actually done Bad Crypto Live many times at conferences, and it's kind of been a feature because what happens is at these conferences, you have keynote panel, keynote panel, right? And it gets, and let's face it, a lot of panels suck because they have bad moderators or because somebody dominates or somebody, they only have 4 minutes to speak. And some keynotes can be dry unless you have a charismatic speaker that's really gripping. The content can be great, but not everybody's a speaker. We're both professional speakers, entertainers, seasoned podcasters. So whether we're emceeing or doing a show, we seek to infotain, right? We want to bring information, but we want to entertain people and get them engaged in what's taking place. So a live Nifty show would include an interview with, somebody leading in the space. It would include probably a funny top 10 list around, NFTs. And in New York, it would include some news. It would include some humor along the way. And, this is the type of thing we don't plan out too much. We kind of go with the flow of it and we just have a good time on stage. I've always been a big believer that people want to be around others that are having a good time. And so that's what we seek to do, is kind of bring a festive, celebratory atmosphere. And we're looking forward to the team giving us the thumbs up to do the show on stage. And of course, that show will be recorded and then released as an episode on the podcast syndication feed.
And, I think you were with us since I know for sure I spent time with you guys February 2020. It was great to have you with us, November. I really got to connect with Travis quite a bit. We emceed the stage back to back.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're looking forward to this June in anticipation of the community that's been built and the energy in our environment, in our industry? What are you looking forward to besides participating on stage? Are there people you're looking forward to meeting, or projects you're looking forward to tuning into, or different parties that you can't wait to be a part of? Give me a little insight in terms of what is a magnetism to you.
Yeah, well, all of it. I mean, we've been fascinated with the space for, since December 2017, and we're definitely in the next wave now. It's funny, somebody in a Discord said to me, NFTs, I told him I've been following this for 5 years. He says, NFTs have only been around 1 to 2. I'm like, no. This wave of NFTs, now we're in the second wave of NFTs. Wait till you see the third wave. And the people at NFT.NYC are going to be the people who are going to lead that wave. We're still in early adoption, and we will be for several years, but the people who are creating and setting the foundation for what happens next are going to be the ones that benefit greatest for when mass adoption hits. You ain't seen nothing. If you've got 1 million active wallets, and I don't even think it's that many that are using, MetaMask right now, wait till you have 10 million and 100 million and 500 million. Like, this is what we're going to look at, these projects that are 10,000 PFPs that we think, they've overproduced. The future will look back at those and go, these are so rare. These are so scarce. And I think that's one of the problems, Ian, with the NFT community, is there's such a microwave mentality. My parents were content to put their money into a mutual fund and earn 8%, 10% a year. Now people want to buy an NFT and they want to flip it for 10x, the next day. And it's not logical. It doesn't make sense. That they don't understand that that's not normal. This is an unusual time that takes place at the early adopter section. They don't know how to look at today's products and services through the lens of tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I mean 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And that's what I do as a futurist, is I look at what we are going to see in the future looking back at this. And I'm not saying that every 10,000 piece collection is going to have value in the future, but I can guarantee this, that there will be collections that are long forgotten that will be rediscovered, have a DAO formed around them, and become wildly successful. I can't tell you which ones they are, but this is what we're going to discover, at NFT.NYC, as people who have a vision towards the future. And so, we're always looking for guests for the show. We're always looking to help out where we can, to advise and consult on projects, and anywhere there's fun and some money to be made, we're there.
So you do a lot of things. I'm super inspired by the stuff that you and Travis do as creators and as platform builders for other people to jump on and tell the world about what they're doing. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, they want to be on the Bad Crypto podcast, they want to sponsor the Nifty Show, they are best friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they're like, you do that for Sly, like we got to. So what's a good way for people to reach out to you, to connect with you, especially regarding biz dev opportunities and partnership opportunities?
Sure. badcryptopodcast@gmail.com. You just hit us up right there. It's an email box that Travis and I share. It's pretty full. It's usually pretty full. I probably need an assistant here soon because I can't get through it all. But we don't like taking sponsors per se. I don't like doing reads on the show. You'll never hear us do a Casper mattress or audible.com read, right? Everything we do is going to be crypto related. And unfortunately, there's a lot of email and opportunities I just delete because we don't have the time or space. We do spotlight interviews from time to time that are sponsored. And again, the best value that we can often bring is advising on projects, is consulting. And that's where our strengths are, because between Travis and myself, we've got over 50 years of digital marketing experience. And so we have the benefit of being able to see things that are the biggest mistakes people can make. And sometimes pointing out the mistakes and saying, don't do that, can be the key to success for a project, because I've seen too many projects make some tragic, fatal errors that have killed their project. And if I face palm and go, no, this is why.
Right.
We can fix that.
Well, thank you for joining me here. I look forward to seeing you and Travis in New York and laughing with you and enjoying collaborating and emceeing the stages with you guys, and and creating an atmosphere for people to open up and enjoy the IRL energy that we're going to bring. So, Joel, thank you for being with me. I am going to have Travis on as a guest here in the next several days. And thanks for all that you do to support this community. I feel like many people have come to you and Travis, and your ceiling is their floor. You just kind of let them jump right on top of all the things that you guys have built in your career and in this industry. And I honor that. So thank you.
I appreciate that. I'll just say this: we're in a rising tide lifts all boats industry, and we want to support everybody in the space. If they're starting a podcast and there's anything we can do to say, hey, check out what these guys are doing, that's a little different, what these gals are doing. Our producer Erin and her friend Jenna we now have a sister show called the Nifty Chicks, and they are doing a podcast they've just launched. I recommend everybody go subscribe. It's by women, for women, about women, and encouraging women in the NFT space to create projects and be involved. So we're all about helping, and thanks again for having me on, Ian.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the Nifty Chicks. That's a great podcast. All right, my friend, and everybody that's watching, whether it's live or the archive, hope you have a happy day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you June 20th to the 23rd at NFT.